games.
Let's talk games. Last night there was a bunch of announcements made at the Game Awards.
Boy, yeah, I'm just catching up. Like right now, I'm scrolling through.
So the things that I noticed that were the most interesting. I thought I'd look over my drink for a sec. The things from the Game Awards that I thought were most interesting. I thought the Wonder Woman game reveal
Right, I thought you would.
was very interesting.
Yep.
The teaser's out. They're not obviously showing anything game-wise because, it's just a teaser and, they're still in development on it. But I think it'd be very cool to basically have a God of War game starring Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the premise at all, but that's just what I'm going off of here. And
That's the vibe.
That seems cool to me. I would be more excited to play a Wonder Woman game than I would a Guardians of the Galaxy game personally, even though I've heard that it's good and I definitely do want to play it.
Yeah.
As long as I get to fight Cheetah, that's kind of all I would want.
Yeah, that could be really cool if she is, if it is that sort of God of War style where she's a little bit OP because she is,
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
For sure. And my guess is it probably isn't an Arkhamverse thing. It's probably going to be its own, standalone universe, which is totally fine. As long as the game is good, quite frankly, who cares? At the end of the day. And you can certainly say that, the case between, Marvel Spider-Man and the Avengers, like, maybe it's better that they're separate, What else popped up? We saw, to Trevor's point, we finally saw some gameplay from the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. And King Shark looks super fun, very Hulk-esque. The gameplay for Captain Boomerang also, basically he's kind of like a Flash in a lot of ways, where he can teleport. If you throw the boomerang, you can teleport to where he flings it to.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to finally see some gameplay from it, which I was kind of hoping for from earlier a couple months ago when DC Fandom dropped. So it was nice to finally get some updates game-wise on that. But I'm really excited for that. I'm still more excited for Gotham Knights personally, just because of how colorful it looks with Robin and Red Hood and Nightwing and Batgirl and being able to play as those guys. But Kill the Justice League looks very fun because you get to fight the Justice League, the Arkhamverse Justice League 2, which is probably just going to be a standard run-of-the-mill Justice League. But it's nice to finally see those heroes, even without Batman.
They will be. They're going to be like boss characters.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
They're controlled by Brainiac. For those that don't know, Brainiac is your main baddie, but still, you're going to get to fight Flash. Superman, bare minimum, probably Green Lantern. I don't know who else is on the Arkham roster necessarily for Justice League, but
yeah, we've seen Superman, right, in some of their stuff. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be mad fun.
I saw something that looked interesting. They had a Gollum game, revealed. With like as an untold story kind of thing in Lord of the Rings. And I'm personally not a Lord of the Rings guy necessarily, and that's mostly just because I never truly invested in the franchise. I don't think I've actually watched all 3 movies in a row, and that will definitely be a movie marathon that I will save
Lord of
further
the Rings,
down the line.
Gollum.
But yeah, it certainly looks interesting. I'm here for character
you get to play
narratives.
As Gollum and Smeagol.
Oh, cool.
It takes 2, Cody.
Oh, my God. It takes 2, precious. Clip it. Also, what was a really pretty cinematic, didn't really tell us anything gameplay-wise, but they had a cinematic reveal trailer for Star Wars Eclipse last night as well, set during the High Republic days. So to me, it looks like you're going to at least play as some Jedi, which is all I would want to do. Personally, I've never really Battlefront is like fun-ish for me, but
it's
the highlight for me is being able to hold a lightsaber and swing at people.
Right, and that's the case for most people. You'd get the Battlefield 2 super Jedi move, and you could just murk people.
Yeah, I'm very much a fan of not necessarily like hack and slash in the way that you're fighting a bunch of enemies, like Dynasty Warriors kind of thing, but I like being able to, I guess, feel a weapon hit an opponent as opposed to gunning down from afar. More so, that's kind of my preferred gameplay, is to go up close and attack directly instead of go from afar. But, I mean, obviously it depends on the game.
Yep.
But, yeah, I'm definitely more for Jedi combat than, say, Battlefront combat personally. And a couple of things from Sonic. I will start with Sonic Frontiers. Mostly, I've never quite necessarily been a Sonic guy myself, but I know someone in studio is very much a Sonic fan. And I was I was curious, what are your thoughts on the Sonic Frontiers game, which very much looks open almost like Sonic Breath of the Wild, kind of in a way, esque in terms of open world. What are your thoughts on this?
I got two things from the trailer. First, okay, and I'm just reading the first ever
Please.
open zone inspired, which is interesting. But the first thing I got was just like Sonic Adventure, the best bits of Sonic Adventure that everyone loved, which were the very flowy loops and like set pieces, right? That seemed to be what they were setting up with the first half, and then now it also seems like it's going to be a Shadow of the Colossus type game, because the reveal of the size of the who I'm assuming is an enemy character at the end to be like towering over Sonic. So also Breath of the Wildy there's the three I forget what they call them, the spirits, who are like these giant mechanical creatures. But yeah, I'm very much kind of a boy who cried wolf at the moment with Sonic. So
in that you
we'll
thought it was going to be
see.
good and then it didn't deliver.
A long time ago, and then I just resigned to knowing that like they don't know what they're doing with Sonic, basically.
Yeah.
And Sonic Mania was incredible, and that's because they let someone else do it.
Yeah.
And if they're not letting someone else do this, I don't know how it's going to turn out. But you know what I am excited for?
Talk about it.
Sonic 2!
Absolutely. So
Because,
fun.
For example, we have one great movie to base it off, and we know that it's going to be, the second one's going to be awesome.
It already feels so much more like a Sonic movie than even the first one. Jim Carrey returns as Dr. Eggman, which is such a great, not even necessarily just a great casting, but also
with a new
just
mustache.
like with the mustache and the look. And I'm actually really happy that Jim Carrey returned for it. Not that I was necessarily surprised, but
You gotta.
And
it seems like they're letting him continue his exploration of that character and turning it into a Jim Carrey character, which is I'm so here.
Which is okay. It only helps bolster the movie, but also too, we have first looks at both Tails and
so
Knuckles.
Tails. Interesting to see that Sonic doesn't know Tails. That's interesting. Kind of an origin story for their friendship.
Keeps it fresh.
Yeah,
and allows the audience to discover that as well too.
It confused me at first. I was like, "Wait, what?"
I was too. Yeah.
But then we're also getting the pretty standard origin story for Knuckles
with
the
Idris
Echidna.
Elba as Knuckles. What? Nuts. Great casting.
Yes.
But something I thought of too when I thought about this literally just before we started the stream today. Imagine a movie, like say if the first Sonic in the original design got the sequel. Imagine what Knuckles and Tails would have looked like with the old Sonic. And people are starting to make that if they haven't already, just to show what could have been.
As a reminder, I don't know if you would remember this, but when that whole thing was going on, do you remember? I was never convinced. I was never fully convinced that what we were being shown was actually what was happening.
Right. Yes.
So I stand by that as far as they never. Yeah, Tails. Someone has done the has done versions of Tails, but yeah, I stand by that because I don't think they were. I can't believe that they were ever going to put that movie out, but that's just me. So to follow that logic, I would say that they would never have designed Knuckles and Tails like that. But if they did, I wouldn't have gotten a sequel.
No, it wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have. Plain and simple, it would have
It wouldn't have gotten the sequel.
It would have bombed. I think it was. I don't know. I guess I would consider it maybe a modest box office success, but that's without necessarily looking at the numbers.
The first one.
Yeah.
Right.
And also it was right before the pandemic, and that factors into some degree. But I'm very excited. Sequel. I'm more excited for a sequel than I was for the first one because you now have colorful characters. You have Dr. Eggman being Dr. Eggman. You have Sonic-looking allies, and
it's great.
Less
Tails'
humans
right
and more characters would be great. And that's nothing against James Marsden necessarily, but I would like. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're not trying to do anything crazy by making Knuckles something else than he was, which is basically a hired mercenary by Eggman.
Right.
At first, and various methods of mind control or whatever, and then he became a good character. So I like that they're not messing with that too much for a start.
I hope we could start leaning away from the what is now a video game movie trope where we need a human character in order to represent kind of the audience for these smaller video game-esque characters, a Detective Pikachu kind of thing, or even Sonic from the first movie. Like let the characters be. We're here to see them, not the human.
That would be.
I wasn't going to see Sonic for James Marsden. To be fair, though, I was going to see Sonic for Jim Carrey, but he was also being a character. So, like, that's different.
Yes. Yeah.
To be fair, I saw it because of Jim Carrey.
It would be interesting to see a movie based entirely in Sonic's world, as opposed to having to bring him into ours. But I think they did a good job with it, so it's enjoyable.
For the limited budget that they had to work with, yes, and I take those kinds of things into account because the studio is unsure if it's going to work, and you're unsure if the audience is actually going to come out for it. But I do think having an actual Sonic that looks like Sonic and Jim Carrey returning to Jim Carrey form is all you could ever ask. It's so funny, too. I've been going on an In Living Color kind of marathon trip. I have all 5 seasons on DVD. I've been watching. I just refinished the first season again, and Jim Carrey is just astonishing back then, and he's astonishing now as well. So it's so funny to see now his latest project and then see him in, like, his earliest first form. And now he's not even at his final form. But yeah. So that's us with the game. Oh, last thing.
If you'd have told me that I would be more excited in 2021 for a Sonic movie than a Sonic game when I was a teenager, I would have been like, ha, that's funny.
That is kind of nuts.
But here we are.
With that last bit of game news, the very game that we had just played, we finished playing it last week.
Yes.
Finally. It Takes Two. Just actually won the Game of the Year at the Game Awards, which is kind of incredible, especially amidst its semi-controversy as far as copyright and namesake, and
which seems to be more of a Take-Two thing than anything else.
Right.
Take-Two is just suing everyone, but their legal team is part of their business plan. But not to distract from the fact that It Takes Two won, and they sure deserved it as far as we're concerned.
I've never actually played an actual Game of the Year. I've played like Game of the Year nominated games, Spider-Man and Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, those kinds of things. But I've never actually played that before, so I feel kind of like I'm in with the in crowd for once. I feel like a gamer for a change, which is kind of weird because I definitely don't consider myself a gamer at all.
I think, I looked it up and I was like, I think I'm mostly the same, and I think this is the first time. This definitely is the first time that I've played and completed a game fully. Not 100%. But,
no, we ain't doing those many games.
Completed a game before it won Game of the Year award. Definitely the first time.
And just in the nick of time, literally less than a week.
So
amazing. What
we're trying to say is you're welcome. You clearly won the award because we were playing it on stream. So you're welcome.
Knights of the Dirty Table boosting voter numbers.
No, well-deserved win, and congratulations to them.
Really cool.
I'm excited to see,
Great for
what
the
they do next. It Takes 3.
Unless they get sued for that, too.
Whoa. Welcome to the end of the Knights of the Dirty Table video that you just watched. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our video, share with all your friends, and catch our live stream every Friday live at 5, only on the Zenden Studios Twitch channel. I gotta go wander off into space. See ya! Whoa! Whoa!